McBride regular council meeting to order. So we have a couple absences.
Yes, Councillor Zanson sends his regrets. Councillor Wyckett would like to extend her regrets. Her husband surprised her with the purchase of Keith Urban concert tickets for tonight. She did try to arrange for Keith Urban to move the concert, but he wasn't willing to. And she said he also talked to, when she talked to him, he wouldn't marry her unless she came to the concert. She would like people to know that she will be in Prince George for the rest of this week, attending various meetings, and that anyone's welcome to get hold of her either by email or on her cell phone.
Alright, so we'll move on, seeing as we still have quorum. So introduction of late items. We have a couple. So one is a payment of the SANS invoice, number 395306 for 142.57, and we'll move that to 7D. D.
DD.
And any other late items that I'm missing? No. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll motion. It's new leader.
I'll second.
All in favor? Carried. Reading and approving of the August 23rd minutes of the regular council meeting. Can I get a motion that the minutes be adopted as either presented or amended? I should probably do that after we look at them. So any errors or omissions on that, I'll call it after. Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Or sorry,
I don't have any.
a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Tracy.
Thank you.
All in favor? Carried. Next item is the reading and approving of the September 6th minutes of the special council meeting. They're on page 8. Any errors or omissions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question, or sorry. Lord, let me get on track here. So, a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Moved.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Tracy. All in favor? Carried. All right, next item is we have a delegation, Mr. Collins, regarding the need for CTC installed on Main Street.
Because I was out and about there, I don't know, last Thursday, and I was in Roger Peterson's office, and I asked him what was going on, and up around the train station, and he tells me that CN was broke into. Well, I'm not a favorite lover of CN, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. I got to thinking that quite possibly, maybe, whenever that happened, maybe the police were out doing something else, or, you know, someplace else. They can't be in all places at all times. And so I come in and was in the office here talking, and I said, well, why doesn't the village put up surveillance cameras? There's surveillance cameras in cities, in some towns. You can't go to Hinton without seeing a surveillance camera. And so I get this idea, well, why can't we do it? Because the price is coming way down on this stuff. And we can get grants, the village can get grants to do things, and why don't we keep our security, keep some of the bad guys out, or at least if we got a picture of him, the police can look and say, yeah. So now we know where he is, he's in town, let's get after him. And it's to help them, not hinder them. And anybody that would object to surveillance cameras and say, well, it's invasion of my privacy, it's not invasion of my privacy. If they say that, then I personally think that they've lost their privacy in objecting to it, you know? To start with, if their objection would stop it, then my objection to the invasion of my security. And I think it's not just my security, the security of the whole town. And surveillance is not really expensive anymore like it used to be. You can get about 18 cameras from not Canadian Tire. It's another thing that I got there for $700. All the stuffed cameras, the whole ball of wax, everything for downloading, everything for $700. I mean, you know, we could have a pretty secure town. And that's what a lot of newcomers into town would look for, too, you know. And I think that if there was a camera, especially a sign just out at the edge of town that said, town under surveillance, it makes people think, and they don't want to be there. They don't want their picture taken. That's only the bad guys that are like that. Me, I don't care. You know, you could have a surveillance camera up there right now, and it doesn't bother me. That there, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. I try and be friendly and peaceable to everybody. So I don't know if I'm going about it right, but I think it's good for discussion and see what people think of it. You know, and that's about what I've got.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Comments, council?
It's definitely something to look into and see what the public feels.
Councilor Thompson, any comments?
Yeah, I would want to have a discussion with our local RCMP with regard to this also.
I think that would be good, and then cost would be another factor on it, but having a few surveillance cameras for safety, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, so it could be something direct administration to look into and then report back to council. Would that be okay with you, Councillor Thompson?
Sure.
Could you make note of that?
Note in my.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move on to the rest of the, excuse me, the rest of the agenda. So next item is questions from the public and the press. We have none. Under unfinished business, we're still waiting for professional advice on the amendment of the budget. And we have a little bit of an update on the Canadian Cancer Society request for endorsement to extend prohibited smoking and vaping space. Vaping. It's on page 15 of your agenda. So with that one, Kelly, did you want to give us a brief update of what's going on? Because we had tabled it and then there's been some action that happened in the meantime.
There has been, not from the Canadian Cancer Society, but we received notice from the province that this is something that they are looking at, and it sounds like it's favorably. But if the community endorses it, that's just one more supportive step.
But either way, it'll be coming back to us from the province.
Yes, nothing, yeah. The Canadian Cancer Society will forward to the province. They're the ones that make the legislation.
So what did council wish to do with this? Did we wish to support this action from the Canadian Cancer Society, or did we just want to wait till we hear from the province as to what that might look like?
I would think wait, see what the end result is.
If the province comes down with something, typically they have to enforce it anyway, so.
Yeah.
They are accepting endorsements right till the end of October. So if it's something, if we get more information and bring it to council, it may be something we've got time to look into it.
Any comments, Councillor Thompson?
Well, my concerns are whenever something is coming down from the province, what are the costs associated with it, and how do we deal with bylaw enforcement? We don't have a bylaw enforcement officer, so that's a concern, but on the other hand, I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting a notion of smoke-free parks, particularly those that have children's play equipment in them. But whatever the province comes with in terms of their recommendations will be a provincial legislation, and they'll have to be on board. So, I think, I don't like the cost. I'd like to see if there's any downloading that the costs are covered. And I would suggest that it wouldn't be out of line to support the endorsement for the Canadian Cancer Society. It's a very simple endorsement.
It is a very simple endorsement. It's too bad that you can't put in there concerned about costs for smaller communities and stuff, because like you said, to institute anything like this, it's gonna cost us in bylaws and signs and all of that kind of fun stuff.
But if I can, you could, because if you look at the second tick box, it allows you to enter modifications
Yes, it does,
listed.
yes.
So if there was a way to simply do that and include the concerns of cost, bylaw enforcement,
Do you have some suggested wording, Councillor Thompson?
I don't, I would leave that up to administration.
Okay. Well, I think we would have to give administration some direction on it, so if we could craft some wording around the cost of it and the cost to implement it and then the cost to maintain,
To enforce
to
it.
enforce it, that would be great. Would you be okay with that, Councillor Tracy?
Yes, I would, definitely.
Okay, so we'll give administration direction to fill that out and send it in endorsing it. Okay, thank you. We're still waiting for stuff from the CN on the underpass, so we'll move.
I did have a quick update on that.
Okay.
Mayor Martin, yeah, it's good, it's a good news update.
Yay.
So I took council's concerns directly to Mr. Sewell, the engineer, and they will be providing and paying for their own drafting of their schematics. They will be, basically the cost, there's no cost to us.
Good.
And I did pass on the invitation to come and meet with council. They may have some of the team in McBride, they said in the late autumn into October, and I just said, please just give me the shortest of notice is fine, and we welcome you to come. So that's the good news.
That is good.
Yeah.
But obviously it isn't gonna get underway till next year now.
They did not say that. That is, it's their job, their concern.
Okay.
They're at the RFP process now, so
Okay.
so that will be posted and they'll take it from there. And they're trying to hire local as much as they can.
Good, awesome. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to reports now. Which one of you councillors would like to go first?
Probably I'm short and sweet. Didn't mean it that way. Okay. On September 6th, we had our special meeting. Officer Bylaw 609. September 9th, the 9/11 walk. The weather was great. And there was a small gathering, and I just want to put out that we all thank our first responders and their fellow members for the job that they provide us. And a reminder, Pie Time is coming up September 25th, the Library Volunteers Pie Making Day at the E-Church, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And any volunteers, they will probably be welcome and put to work. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson?
My report for September the 13th, September 1st, I attended a meeting with Greg Bruce and the mayor in the office here to discuss highway improvement projects underway that affect McBride and area, including the installation of school bus signs for the safety of our young children taking the buses, highway improvements at the ancient forest, and of course the recently announced installation of a pedestrian controlled crosswalk at the intersection of Highway 16 and Main Street on Bridge Road. September the 6th, I attended the special council meeting, which was to discuss officer bylaw 609. Additionally, we had our final event of the Summer Street Festival on August the 24th, well attended. The grads had a very successful barbecue and sold out everything, which was even better. And I want to thank everyone who participated and volunteered in our series of 4 summer street events. And August 26th, I attended a Rural Advisory Council conference call. As people know, the Rural Dividend Program first intake provided a number of lessons to be learned, and it was indicated that changes to the program would be implemented prior to the second intake. And the teleconference that we had was to review the program changes and provide feedback to the ministry. So just a heads up that the second intake will be coming in October, and there will be some changes noted before that. There is a teleconference mid-September, which is full. And there's a second teleconference in October, I think October 6th. But the program guide will probably be released end of September, mid-October, or end of September next week or something. And then other things, just discussions, phone calls with local residents, and doing my research for meetings and for your information. That's my
Thank you very much.
Alright. So for my mayor's report, on September 1st, I attended with some members of council where we met with Ministry of Transportation staff to discuss the upgrades to the agency for Forth, the pedestrian crosswalk, and of course the safety. I also took the opportunity to speak with the Ministry of Transportation staff about the motion that, not the motion, the recommendation that staff had put forward to develop and adopt a bicycle network plan that could go for rural dividend funding. So while we had Greg here, we just decided to go and take a look. So we went and we looked at the pathways. We looked at both Dominion Creek and the pathway through Glardy, how to get over that bridge safely, and actually both are doable. So I will have a proper report coming forward a little bit later on, but at least it shows us that we can connect from McBride to Tier Mountain and go safely over that bridge. So, and Ministry of Transportation staff was excellent on it. They were actually in favor of it, and so it was a really good meeting. I really enjoyed it with Greg. Then I met briefly with the chair of the Community Foundation in part to move forward on the next granting cycle. I attended the meeting on September 6th, the special meeting of council. On September 7th, I attended an RVR meeting at Tijon to move forward on that. On September 9th, I attended a mayor's caucus in Prince George, and they swore to have minutes ready for our council meeting, and I haven't received them yet. So as soon as I get them, I'll put them forward to council and update you on everything. And then on September 10th, the Rural Dividend Committee met. We met with representative of the chamber and a local expert to discuss our tiny house project. We'll be trying to arrange a meeting with the grant writer to go over some things to put this forward, and it'll eventually come back to, it goes back to the Rural Dividend Committee while they work things out, and then the recommendation, of course, will come forward to council before we submit to for the next round of granting. So that was a good one. And then we also briefly discussed the process now that we've been awarded the $10,000 for a feasibility study to heat the Public Works building. But there's a real opportunity there to maybe sort of amp that up and take a look at a district heating system. So I've got a little bit more work to be done on that. I know that the project has to be tendered, and there's a bunch of things I need from staff. So I'll be trying to work with that and get that to council as soon as possible. We do have a window here till we don't have to deal with it and report back until January 2017 on that. So while we've got the time, we should take an opportunity to see if we can make this a little bit better. And I did speak to another local expert who has expertise in that field. And he feels because McBride is so small and compact that not only could you do a district energy system, heating system, you could also probably create some jobs while doing it. So it was a heck of a couple meetings I've had over the week, and I'm sorry, because of them, I haven't had the time to do all proper reports. So I will be trying my best to get those out to council as soon as possible. So, and that's been mine, a couple weeks.
Excellent.
All right, so then we'll move on to administration.
Yes, reports come out October 11th. We switch with Public Works.
You were messing me up with that
Yeah.
stuff. All right, so then we'll move on to the finance one. So on page 16 of your agenda package, we have a bill there, and this is because the fuel was not included in the budget, so we have been told we therefore have to approve them until we amend and update our budget. So the first motion is that Council of the Village of McBride approve the payment of a sands distribution fuel bill as per the statement of $245.42. Can I get a mover on that one?
I will move.
And a seconder? Thanks, Rick.
Do we know which account, is that coming out of the account item that's sitting with $0 in, is that?
That's correct. I've been informed by the province that the village may no longer pay bills that are not on the budget. So each and every one of them will have to come to council until such time as your budget is fixed. Sorry.
Any other questions, Councilor Thompson?
So, yes, just briefly, just so I'm clear. I don't see which account this is being charged to.
It is, you won't see it, I'm sorry.
I thought we were supposed to see an account.
I'm
number.
bringing you statements to approve. I don't know, our account number is 513752, is that what you're
Or are
referring
you
to?
meaning the
No,
GL
I'm
account?
Or the general ledger?
Yeah,
Under the
but-
GL
It's
account.
going to a 0 GL, we could put it to that. That number is,
'Cause there is a line item for.
there absolutely is, I'll just give you the line item.
If I'm out of order, just tell me.
Not at all,
I
no.
thought we were supposed to see a number on it.
It is line item, well, here's the problem, they don't break it down to gas or diesel. But I'm going to assume that these are gasoline, and I'm going to say it's 10-4-25-27501.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments on that?
No.
Councilor Tracy, you're looking positive.
Oh, that's normal.
Fair enough. Call the question then. All in favor? Carried. Next item on page 17 is a motion that Council of the Village of McBride approve the payment of sands distribution fuel card invoice 394971 in the amount of $102.85.
This will be the same GL number, this is gasoline for the car.
Okay, thank you. Mover? It's gotta be one of the two of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Tracy. Rick, seconder? Any comments on that one?
I'm just, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. I'm confused, and just for clarification, it seems to me that these two are part of this 245.42. If you look at the bottom of the invoice, there's a 102.85, and there's a 142.57, which totals 245.42, which is the bill we just approved.
You just,
9795. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Councilor Tracy.
yeah, I see what Rick's saying, pardon me.
Oh, I see. Okay, no, you're right. Well,
So,
142.57. So if we approve the statement, and I'll have to let Sherry know. I think she might have entered these all separately, so we'll correct that.
good trick.
So the first motion will stand, it will cover the two separate invoices.
Okay, so that will,
And the fuel bill, Councilor Thompson, you know, the card,
so 102.85. And 142.
They're both included on the invoice.
yeah, no, they are, I'm seeing them there. So we can, that is not, But it's not a problem to have that corrected.
All right, so that would actually, how should we handle this then? Kelly?
It's just dead on the floor. The first one covers both of them.
Covers both of them, that would
Yeah.
also make the late item dead on the floor as
Yeah.
well. Thank you for that. And then the next one is on page 19 and 20 of your agenda package, and that is the WCFP Holdings in the amount of 2393.88.
So in your package, you'll notice that council made a resolution for these fire hydrants, and the resolution was to the quotation we received. The quotation was $1,591.71. So I was quite startled to get an invoice for more than that, and consulted with their finance lady. And council does have a PO that will not be discussed much further, but a staff member without authority ordered $800 and something extra worth of parts that was not signed off on. I don't think this is the bad faith of the company in any way at all. They assumed that they were, you know, do you see what I mean? They assumed the person had the authority to do this. And I really think we should pay them. They're kind of caught in the middle there. And I'm just looking for a GL item for you, Councillor Thompson.
Well, usually once these are approved, they would normally be approved by you, and then we put a jail on them, do we not?
We do, but I can't approve this. This was an extraordinary expense for the repair of hydrants. The council had a resolution based on a quote.
Yes.
Yes, so it's coming significantly higher, the invoice.
I understand that, but I'm just wondering why we're worrying about line items now.
Oh, just
When
for
normally
council,
we approve them,
for Councillor Thompson's edification.
then they're GL coded.
Yeah,
And then council checks them on,
Okay.
as they process the checks.
okay, fine.
Right.
So we're gonna move it?
I need a mover and a
No, we
seconder.
have nothing.
So I'll move it because we have to pay the bill.
Yes, I think we should, yeah.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, discussion?
So, just for clarification, we provided a resolution to fix hydrants number 22 and number 49,
That's correct.
and the invoice shows 5 labor hydrant repairs and 5 labor trouble sprinklers. So did we repair 5 sprinklers?
No, that's not my understanding. What you were received in your report was exactly what the quote said. And then it's my understanding that
There was stuff added to it after the fact.
that a staff member went to another hydrant and brought the professionals to check, and once it was taken apart, it came into parts of almost $1,000 that administration was unaware of, but we really should pay the bill. The technicians did this in absolute good faith.
I got that
Yeah.
in July,
You're finishing unfinished projects?
I'm sorry?
Are you finishing unfinished projects?
No.
Yes. I'm asking a question.
Just a point of order here, Bob.
Hmm.
When you're in the gallery, you're here to view. The only thing that members of the gallery can do is at the beginning, they can sign up on the sheet, and then you can address the items that are on the agenda when it's called. Other than that, yeah, sorry, the gallery doesn't participate.
Well, I can't wait very much, so you're gonna hear what I gotta say, but if you're gonna finish unfinished projects, I'd like to see second half finished. Rick Thompson knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just.
Madam Mayor.
And it don't matter, I'll come back next week or whatever, you give me a piece of paper, but like I try to get on through this S Bulkley and your email, and you know what, for 6 days I tried.
I understand that.
Like, is
This
the
is
newspaper
just-
here today?
This is just not the proper time to visit with, to deal with it, Mr.
Well,
Collins.
you know what,
I'm sorry, that's the end of the conversation.
it's like when you kicked us out there, Lorraine. It's like, you know what, on court day, there's more looky-loos than 40 or whatever you kicked us out for. But,
That's
maybe
because you
maybe I
have
need
to-
to talk to Edie or something, because Ralph ain't here today.
Mr. Collins, I'm sorry, you're out of order, and we do have proper processes
So I'm
and
under arrest?
procedures. No, you're just out of order. We do have proper processes under the community charter and under our bylaws that we have to follow. So it's not that we do have a problem with dealing with your issues, and your information has been forwarded as you requested already to Susan.
Because I was very
So-
frustrated over that, like very frustrated, like 6 days I came.
I
like,
understand that,
They didn't even know what I
sir.
was talking about when I come in the front here yet, they know what my name is and my ICBC and all that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this just isn't the proper time to address it.
Okay, well,
So if you could contact me
Anyway.
after, I will have no problem talking to you. Okay?
okay, well, these sheets, you know, by half time, by the time you get off work and, you know, you can't get the sheets, can't go to the community forest, I mean,
Then,
you said that we'd vote, you'd bring democracy back to the table, all right? And that we'd vote on things, and there's a bylaw in 755 where she wouldn't even let me, try to give me a hard time to change my tire on the road?
Bob, you are really out of order. You either have to sit down or leave. All right, so we'll,
We have a mover on the floor. We have no second.
Counselor Tracy did second?
Oh, good, perfect. I didn't hear, sorry.
Okay, so
Sorry,
any
Caroline.
other comments on that? No, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Carried. All right, so next item on the agenda is the Public Works report. So we have that starting on page 21. Any updates on that? And we also have one on 24 as well. Is that going to be the normal new standard?
It's a standard I'd like to implement because it gives not only council but the public a lot more information. I didn't find that this report was providing perhaps what you guys needed. And so we're looking at of course, keeping the standard operational report, but doing a bit more information on small projects, that sort of thing, and routine maintenance such as the fire hydrants and what have you.
Any other comments on the Public Works report?
I think that's a good idea to say
You
the
like
public
this?
is more informed and what's
Perfect.
going on.
Yeah, if you guys like it, I'm very happy to keep it
Yeah,
like this.
I
Perfect.
quite like that.
Excellent.
All right, so a motion to receive the reports for information.
So moved.
Second.
Counselor Tracy, all in favor? Carried. All right, so we have requiring action. We have several letters here from Mr. Frederick. A letter requesting information on the budget review and revision, a letter requesting information on utility rates review, a letter requesting information on the EDO position, and a letter requesting information on the rural dividend grant committee, all from Mr. Frederick. So how would council prefer to deal with this? I will tell you that as chair of the rural dividend committee, I was preparing a response personally because it should have come to the chair of the committee prior to being sent to council. And the same will happen actually for the utility rate review, which is also another committee which I sit on. So those two will actually be handled by me, and I will have them out to Mr. Frederick and copied to council at the next meeting. However, for the EDO position and the budget review, those are two things that maybe we could work with administration to just address a quick letter to Mr. Frederick, if that's okay with council. Okay, so I hear none, so we'll just do a direction there for, and I'll work with administration. Next item is the physiotherapists from Northern Communities correspondence requesting support to the province, the release of training funds. It's on page 30 in your agenda package. Alright, so what are we looking for here, Kelly?
There, I think it was last year that you did support them. The council sent a letter of support and also voted favorably at UBCM. And what they're asking for now, that was at a regional level, and now they're asking specifically towards the Prince George area, which would very much benefit us. Their need is to graduate, to train more physiotherapists so that more are coming out to practice. They're requesting, I think, an extra 20 seats for students, which is wonderful. And they want to recruit actively, and I know they do recruit actively. So they need council support for a full academic physiotherapy program at UNBC, so right in Prince George. Preferably, it could be a dual program, so students can do part of it at UNBC and part at UBC in a collaborative delivery of the academic part of the program. The physiotherapists feel that this is an urgent need in our area. As they rightly point out, we have an aging workforce, and they're concerned that if we don't act now, it'll be overwhelming, and that people won't be getting the treatment or the assistance they need in that area. And so by supporting it, they're imploring council to urge the government to release the funds to enable the support of these programs through UNBC specifically. And they do say if you require any further information, they're very happy to engage and send you what you need.
Council, discussion?
So are you asking for a letter to be sent
Yes.
to the government?
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to support because we do need more physiotherapy and we need to integrate that more into our hospital practices here. I know it's a concern of our citizens here. So would council be in favor of supporting sending a letter of support?
So we need a motion in that regard?
Direction is fine. It's correspondence.
Well, I correctly write a letter from the mayor supporting the release of funds and the additional extra 20 seats at UNBC for physiotherapy.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay. We'll move on. We have several pieces of information there as well, and then our outgoing. So we'll move on to page 102 of your agenda, which is a financial policy presented for review and discussion. So if you remember back, I think it was June 28th, we had 2 financial reports that council received.
Did we, sorry, going forward, did we go through outgoing?
No, I don't have note of that.
Pardon me?
Outgoing correspondence.
You don't have note of it?
I don't think that there's, I don't think we looked at it, Mayor Martin.
For outgoing?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Oh, it's just outgoing, okay. I didn't even write down the pages of it, so.
If I go to page 77,
Thank you.
there's an outgoing letter to or a letter that went out September 7th to the McBride Alps Royal Purple.
Yes.
And I just want to stress that we also need to, in addition to getting a timeline of when the work is expected to be carried out, we also need to have them meet with staff to ensure that the work that's completed meets village specifications, because any work done will become the responsibility down the road for maintenance of the village. And it's great to have volunteers doing things, but we need to ensure that the work done complies with our regulations. And I know that when we did the skateboard park, we didn't really meet and put down any specifications, and that may have caused us some challenges down the road. So
I believe we did resolve after that, though, that when we do this stuff, that would be one of the requirements, is that we would have to have staff available for these types of projects.
But I'm happy to send a letter just to let them know in case they didn't read the minutes for that was reasonable.
Okay.
Is that
Just
fine?
check, yeah.
Thank you, that's all, it was just a comment I had.
Oh, no, fair enough, Councilor Thompson. And now we'll move on to 102, the financial policy draft as presented for review and discussion. So this is a follow-up to the two financial reports we received, going through budget and financial information. And administration had requested a strong financial policy be put in place to address some of the issues. So here is your first draft. Now, I don't know if you guys had time to go through it in detail, so I don't know if you want to bring it forward to the next meeting and give everybody a chance to go
Yeah.
through it.
I would appreciate that, yes.
And Madam Mayor, it was sent to all of council and yourself a week ahead
Yes.
for review and input.
Okay. Any comments on that one, Councillor Thompson?
So this will this come back in a format of our policies? So this is just basically showing the content of what
Draft review and discussion for you at this time, yes.
Yeah, it was sent to you a week early so that you could have any points that you wanted to bring up.
it seems to cover off the issues that were identified.
I believe it does as well. All right, so seeing as we have no other noted concerns with it, maybe we could bring it forward at the next
Mhm.
meeting
Yes, on a proper template.
on a proper template
Mhm.
and then pass it through as an official policy.
Yes.
Okay. So next meeting, do I need a motion for that one? Postpone until the next meeting or to bring forward to the next meeting?
No, because I think, I hope I wrote it for review and discussion.
You did right.
Yeah, no, and we're,
Okay, so we'll bring that forward. All right, so next one is under new business, the HRSC terms of reference draft presented for review and discussion on page 105.
I've just included this for council's review and discussion, as I know it's something that council had looked at, was a human resource committee or a standing committee. And so one reaches out to one's colleagues in different communities and took some of their advice, many of them being many more years experience than I am. So knowing this is something that council was interested in, I just wanted to present you an overview for review and discussion only. And if it's something that you want to proceed with, I'm very happy to make sure it's on correct templates for formal work.
Is this one of the items that you did when we had hired you as a consultant?
That's correct.
Okay. I thought I was very familiar. All right, so council? Thompson?
Okay, so in just discussing, I see that, the purpose of it is fine. I understand that. I believe that the composition should be 2 councillors and the mayor, so there's at least 3 on the committee, as opposed to 2.
Okay, yeah.
It's just a suggestion. It is a standing committee, so even if it wasn't the mayor is a ad hoc member of all standing committees, so I think it would be better to include more of council than less. I don't know whether, I guess I'm just gonna suggest that some of these items, like under number 2,
Mm-hmm.
those are contained in contract,
Mm-hmm.
and item number 3 is contained in comments from the community charter and
Mhm.
policy. And item number 1, I would tend to postpone discussion on that because I believe we're awaiting some legal advice on that topic.
Okay, so it was the C, 1, 2, and 3?
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got notes of those.
So I guess I would prefer maybe to postpone this till after the in-camera meeting, or table it till after the in-camera meeting. I I'm just not quite sure which way to go. I think that we were still waiting some advice.
So probably postpone it then.
We could postpone it till the next meeting as well,
Next
Councillor
meeting.
Thompson.
And I would make a motion to postpone.
Okay,
No, second.
so motion to postpone, where am I on my thing here?
10A.
So, motion to postpone,
And that would be to a specific time, so that would be October the 11th.
Okay.
to October 11th meeting. And that's moved by Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Tracy. And all in favor? Carried. All right, next item on the agenda is a report from Micah Electronics to council on suggested data protection procedures. So, I need a motion to receive the report.
So is it, are we receiving several reports, or?
No, this is the first one you're receiving. The other one we actually have to make, there is one to receive, they're on different items, Councillor Thompson.
Okay, motion to receive the report on page 106 from Micah Electronics.
Okay. Seconder?
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Tracy. Discussion? So is there some background on this? So,
Our IT people work at quite a high level, and they have a great understanding of data protection. There were some issues, there have been some issues, as council knows, and Kiba was very concerned for us, especially when he reads the legislation around things now, which we go into the next, and he is for, just as a suggestion, that this is very standard, how one protects one's data. So should an employee no longer be with us, or should an employee be gone for a long time, they don't keep accessing our data, or remotely accessing things. He's looked at the legislation around the Privacy Act. How do we protect our data? We have a duty to protect it. And so he's just wanting us to be safe. They are our IT, they are our specialists. And he's had to help on 2 different occasions now, as council knows. And he really thought it was time that we implemented some properly worded data protection procedures or policy, or whatever one wants to call it.
so by accepting, on the next motion to accept this report, will that make this now become one of our procedures?
It would be, I would outline it properly, because these are his suggestions. It would be on our policy, and then you would accept it. So I would outline it for you on our proper procedure and policy forms.
Any other questions or comments, council? No? Okay, so a motion to receive, all in favor? Carried. Next one is the motion to accept the data protection procedure as outlined in the report from Micah Electronics. Can I get a mover on that?
So moved.
And a seconder?
I'll second.
It's all I can have a Joey say. All right, any comments on accepting this as procedure? No, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Councillor Tracy, are you in favor? Carried. All right, so on page 107 now, another report from Micah Electronics and administration to council regarding the mandatory email storage of elected officials, as well as the cost to implement the storage. So the first thing we need is a motion to receive a report to council regarding the email change storage of elected officials, as well as the cost. So can I get a mover?
I'll move this time.
Thank you, Councillor Tracy. Thank you,
Second.
Councillor Thompson. All right, discussion. I do have one question on this. It's a great idea to do it. I know we're facing storage, the volume of storage. problems with our email accounts, but when this kind of data is stored, there is a problem under the freedom of information if it's stored with a US company as opposed to a Canadian company. So has that been taken into consideration?
It's actually, it's in the report, yes, it
Okay.
absolutely is. I believe it was, gosh, about 6 weeks ago at least, that we got our IT people looking into this.
Yeah.
And they were very excited to see that there is now Microsoft has it that is legislatively approved for storage of elected officials' emails.
Okay.
Yes, it is absolutely Canadians sealed and stamped and approved.
Okay. Any other comments by council?
Yes, I have a couple of comments, questions. I understand, I see the estimated time to implement. I do know that the cost, there's a monthly subscription fee of $25.50 per user. Do you have an estimate of the number of users that would be, we would be looking at, so we'd have a better idea of the monthly cost?
I do. It would be a mayor and council, so 5.
Oh, just for the 5 of us?
Okay.
So we don't have to, that isn't for other computer stations within the office?
We all have Outlook that's secured to our server here, whereas you guys aren't in the office on our Outlook system, so it isn't secure to the server.
So it's actually like about 125 a month.
It is, yes.
Okay. Other questions that I have. This doesn't, the report still doesn't address an issue that I think we have to resolve and we need some policy around. It doesn't address the issue of council using individual email addresses, which are subject to FOIPOP, but aren't secured.
You're absolutely right, Councillor Thompson. It is something that has been addressed with council a number of times. What happens when an elected official uses their personal email is, well, I think we know it's been quite a scandal in the news. Some of our dearest friends have got caught up in it. An elected official is not allowed to delete any official email that discusses business of the village or anything that is done in your capacity as an elected official. They're not allowed to be deleted. They have to be produced through the Freedom of Information Act if asked for them. So what happens when a councillor uses their personal email is they're kind of muddying the water about what is personal and what isn't. Do you see what I mean? So the recommendation of the legislation says you use an official email. There's reasons for it, and I think that Kiba's covered it in there. You can't delete. Remember the triple deleting scandal? You can't delete official emails. And some, I know that this has happened on our server, and it just opens up the individual councillor to grief. I mean, why would one put themselves in that position? So this way, we're following legislation. Kiba will sit if anybody's having problems. He's also noted that there are, he spoke with our people at Sticky Wickets, and there are councillors that are forwarding their emails to private accounts, business emails. So he would want to work with councillors, make sure they're very comfortable with the new interface, that sort of thing. And what happens is there's a secure place on a server where all emails go to rest for 7 years. And that, after that point, some we don't ever get rid of, but some can be looked at after 7 years.
So this will rectify, like, I'm having problems getting on my village email, getting into it, and not this.
I had let Kiba know that, and he said all the emails going to that account are forwarding to your personal email.
Yes, but I can't, like, get onto the
To-
site to
yeah.
answer.
And well, he can reset your email and send that, your password, and send it, because there had been that big bump, and that's when everybody started to have problems. It was when we had that power outage and our server went down for a while there.
Okay.
So whether that's it, I don't know, I'm not an IT person.
Yeah, well,
But,
never mind, because I know we tried that a couple of times and I'm still having issues, so,
And
okay.
with this one, will that give us the it gives us the storage capacity we need, because then I can start to deal with some of my stuff.
Well, it will be stored there, you'll have access to it, absolutely, and it's a huge amount of storage, that's why there's a charge attached to it. So Councillor Thompson we bumped his up with our Sticky Wickets people, because he was aware of the legislation around elected officials' emails. So I don't think he's reached, I usually get a warning if someone's running close to it.
I think they've just given me unlimited.
Oh, they've just given up, just store your emails.
Yeah.
So this will, and there will be a lot more storage room doing this for you guys.
And then too, I know with my laptop, I have great trouble in accessing sticky widgets actually from my own laptop. So I recall that Cuba said that I could bring in my laptop and he would help me set up the parallel.
What we've talked about is that once this is set up, that we have a meeting here and he work with each of you on your devices. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
So when you leave, you're well armed to attack it from whichever angle you want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
Okay, so just for clarification, if I may, 2 more questions.
Mhm.
So many of us, like for example, I've got my rthompson at McBride.ca. I can answer those emails on my phone.
Yes,
That'll still be available?
absolutely,
And my home computer is still available?
absolutely.
Okay. And, so
You
that's-
have no problems now accessing, do you?
Oh, I've never had
Your
problems.
interface will be identical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then I'll call the question on receiving the report. All in favor? Okay, carried. And a motion to retain Mike Electronics to secure the Office 365 Enterprise 3E product and secure email retention as per legislation. Can I get a mover on that?
Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Tracy, seconder. Councillor Thompson,
Are we,
the second motion under C.
yeah, okay. I just wondered whether we needed if there needed to be a budget amount in that. I see there's a motion further down.
Let me just pull our,
Where are you?
I'm looking.
The motion on the budget is through
It's
down.
further down.
Yeah, but I can peek while you guys are.
But I guess what I'm saying is, or that if they should be the same, in the same motion. Yeah, I guess it's 6 and 1/2 dozen of another.
It is, yeah, I broke it out that way, but it could be one very long motion, because one's about the Microsoft product, and in Canada, the one that's approved by legislation, and the other is about our contractors' costs to install and set up everything. And then the third one is a whole different one, because that's the monthly fee.
Sorry, now you got me confused. So, how much is the Office 365 Enterprise E3 product? Like I see the monthly fee times 5.
That's probably exactly what it is, because we have professional Microsoft. We pay a fee for that already, for the office and stuff, and it is part of the office fee. But I can ask if there is. I don't see where he's mentioned any extra cost to it.
So my understanding is that you get the Office 365 Enterprise E3 and you pay a monthly use.
Yes, that's my understanding as well, Councillor Thompson.
Okay. So there actually is no initial cost to the enterprise.
But we pay for the space after that monthly, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can confirm that if you guys, If you prefer, I can send an email to Kiva and ask him.
We just confirm, make sure we're on the same page. Would be nice.
Okay, I need a seconder on that motion, so.
Who first? Who moved it?
Edie.
Oh, I better second it. Now we can discuss it.
All right, so the motion to retain Micah for it, so is there any other discussion on that? So Kelly's gonna, in other words, do we need to postpone this until we get a price, or do we just go ahead and do it because it needs to be done and fit it into the budget line item somehow?
I would like to get all my ducks in a row.
We do have a discretionary amount that we can do without running to council, and I'm sure it's much under that. I think if there is a fee, it would be under $200. You might pay a licensing fee, but I rather doubt we'll have to because we pay quite a high fee for the entire professional suite, yeah.
So my suggestion would be that we move forward on this and let Kelly keep going with it, unless there's something extraordinary that appears.
Yes.
So are you comfortable with that?
Okay, so that's like 200 approximately per month.
No, it wouldn't be per month.
Okay.
You might have to, one license fee, but I don't think that we have to do that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's up in question. Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, that's okay.
All right, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Carried. Next item on the agenda is a motion to retain the services of Micah Electronics to set up and install the new email system in the amount of $980 plus applicable taxes. Mover?
So move.
Seconder? Thank you. Discussion? None?
Scary, eh?
Happens on occasion.
And
Call the
that's-
question then, all in
And
favor?
that's our keep, eh?
Yes.
All in favor? Carried. And the last one on this subject, a motion for the budget for the monthly Microsoft subscription rate of $25.50 for the E3 product.
Can we add per email account? I don't have a calculator.
Okay, so the amendment will read per email account after the $25.50. All right, do I need a mover and a seconder on the amendment? Yes, I do.
No mover.
No, it had never been moved, so.
Okay, so we'll just add that to the motion as it stands then? Okay, and then that's moved by Councillor Tracy,
Yes.
seconded by Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, any discussion on that? No, I'll call the question then, all in favor? Carried. All right, so next item on the agenda, on page 110, is AFT, Financial Officer Draft Job Description presented for review and discussion. All right, so this is another one that you had actually done.
Yeah, I've revised it a bit. Councillor Thompson had expressed an interest in looking at a job description that is suited to the position of financial officer. So when we go forward, it just helps with the 609 process. Yeah.
Well, it's excellent. I know this one was one of the ones that we had Kelly do when she was a consultant, and then we found out that all the job descriptions had been ratified in January of 2015. So this kind of fell by the wayside, but we've already paid for the document. So might as well use it because it is a very well-written document. And it does address all the finance part of it and all the administrative part of it. So what would be your suggestion that we do with this, Kelly?
My suggestion is you look through it and see if there's something that you as a council want added to it. Let me know what it is, and then I check whether it's something that we can, you know? Of course, the main duties are always that as outlined in the community charter. but council has a right to add other duties, but note it always says not all inclusive. And it says, you know, should something come up, perform other duties as necessary or directed for the efficient and effective operation of the municipality. So I would like your review to see if there's something that I've glaringly left out, because that can happen. So the process would be, if you're comfortable with this, we would have a motion to accept it, or we can have it for review to think over until, yeah, but it should be, council should be comfortable with it before we send it to the labor, to CLAC.
Okay.
You'll also see that I've included what they call a job demand analysis that looks at the amount of time sitting, weights lifted, this sort of thing, and that was actually done in this office with staff here.
Okay.
So they've had a good idea of, you know, those sort of things.
So, and that's the one that you were just talking about is actually the next one on the list?
Yes,
right?
it's a job demand analysis, yeah. I think we sometimes call it, some if you've got a very detailed job, it'll be a physical one and a different one.
Maybe we should just get a motion to receive then and
Mhm.
bring it forward at the next meeting. That gives us a chance to chew on it prior
It's
to.
a lot of reading, yeah.
Well, if we're going to have to submit something rather than just amend and correct any bits and pieces, let's do what we wanted to do in the first place.
I appreciate that, too.
Okay, so, motion to receive then?
Motion.
Thank you, Councillor Tracy. Councillor Thompson, you want to second that?
Sure.
Okay. So, any other comments on it?
So, just for clarification,
Mhm.
I know that I was a little up in arms that we were going backwards from a job description to a bylaw.
Right.
I got over that. Now, I just need to be clear though. This is the job description for the deputy administrator treasurer position that is currently advertised with the village of McBride.
The duties are compatible. It's, as we've discussed a couple of times, it clearly says that they perform the duties of the finance officer, the one that's advertised. So this is a refinement to that, the position name of finance officer that the council wanted to see reflected in the community charter. So the hiring process will continue, as I think was done by resolution. It closed Friday at closing time, Friday at 4:30, and there will be a matrix. That is quite a long process, but you start by looking at the actual skill sets and take it from there. So this is presented for your information. You've got it received the information. It would be very nice to have input before the job contract goes forward, because it will come to you as recommendation in camera, and this will be a part of the actual contract. So that this is attached, it's initialed off on with the actual contract. So that's something, that's why I'd like your input, because that will come to council before any hiring gets done. Of course, it'll be in camera, because by that stage, there'll be recommendations and people's names will be being discussed.
So just so I'm clear, that was a long answer for a short question.
Well,
This is basically the deputy administrator / finance officer position.
yes, that's correct.
So
Only
it's
a finance
replacing
officer.
the existing job description that we've seen.
Yes,
Thank you.
which is technically not a job description, it's a schedule attached to a bylaw. So,
No, but there is a job description that was attached.
that was the ratified one, yes.
Right, so this is,
Replacing the.
Replacing it, carrying some of the same duties, but refining it a bit.
okay.
So for a motion to receive, all in favor? Carried. And that will come back to us, and don't forget to put your input into Kelly on that one. All right, so then,
By when would you like comment if you have any?
I can send out an email, and that way if we reply to all, we can see everyone's input, and somebody's input doesn't get overlooked that way.
all right, so our next motion is a motion that in accordance with section 91C, labor relations and other employee relations, and 91I, the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. So can I get a motion, or sorry, a mover?
Move.
Okay. Counselor Thompson, will you second that?
I will, but should it say that a motion that we go in camera?
Yes, there should be,
I think it's because it's under the in-camera section.
yeah.
So,
So I move that we go in camera in accordance.
okay, that we
I would second that.
go in camera. All right, thank you. And then I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. And a motion that the open meeting be recessed at 8:11 in order to conduct the closed in-camera meeting.
Move.
Second.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you everyone for coming out.